Hi, I'm Bruce Walton from Road Safety Analysis, and this is the fourth in a series of 10 bite-sized demonstrations of my favourite things which MAST can do. In this clip, I'm going to have a look at the most similar authorities feature which MAST has, and I'm going to base that on an indexed report I created earlier called Northwest Vehicle Users. There it is, I'll just open it up. And this is an indexed report, a mosaic profile of vehicle users, that is drivers and passengers in vehicles who became casualties as a result of a crash, classified by the mosaic group of their home community where that is known, and index weighted. Now at the moment, this report is based on the northwest region of England, so the casualty figures only refer to people who live in the northwest, and the indices are calculated based on the average annual mileage that is recorded from communities in the northwest of England. Now, what I'm going to do is suppose that I'm interested in one particular authority within the northwest of England. If I was going to do that, one of the most useful things you can do if you're looking at individual authority areas is compare them to other authority areas to see if you have a shared problem, to see whether the issues that you face in terms of road risk are similar or dissimilar to other places. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill down to a particular authority. I'm going to drill down to a large city unitary in the Greater Manchester Metropolitan County. I'm going to choose for this example Manchester City Council. Now, as soon as I do that, the casualty home filter will change from referring to the northwest region to only Manchester City. So these casualties I'm seeing are people resident in Manchester City, and all the index values are relative to the average annual mileage travelled by people who live there. And you can see that the profile is significantly different from that of the northwest as a whole, representing the way in which central Manchester does differ from the region as a whole. Now, another thing I'd like to point out is as soon as I've done that, a new action link has appeared up at the top of the screen. It's this one I'm pointing at here, Show Similar Authorities it's called. Now, the Show Similar Authorities action link is only available if you have a saved report which is filtered by a geography dimension that has got selected in it a single district authority area. That could be a unitary authority, or it could be a single district within a county, and we're working on making this work at the county level as well in future. But at the moment, you need to have a single local authority district area selected. As soon as that's the case, the Show Similar Authorities link appears, and what that does is it will display to me the 10 other local authority district areas in the country which are most similar to Manchester City Council in socio-demographic terms. Now, the details of how this is calculated is explained in full in the MAST Wiki, which is always a good place to look if you want more information. But I'm just going to have a quick look at how I might go about doing that. So I can see that vehicle users who are resident in Manchester, it's Group D and Group G are the most overrepresented, and Group E, although there's a significant number of them, are actually underrepresented relative to the amount of mileage which that group typically travels. I want to see whether that profile is similar in areas that are a bit like Manchester. So I'm going to click on Show Similar Authorities. It brings up the top 10 areas that are most closely related to Manchester socio-demographically, not necessarily in terms of this particular aspect of road risk, but in terms of the type of communities that they contain. And I can decide which one I think is most interesting. Let's suppose I thought Sheffield would be an interesting basis of comparison. All I have to do is select Sheffield from the list, and the filter on the report will automatically change the moment that I click on it. So I'm going to choose Sheffield, and now I have exactly the same report, filtered in exactly the same way. The only thing that's changed is Casualty Home has changed from U Manchester City, it was saying a moment ago, to Sheffield, that Sheffield City Council Unitary Authority. And I can see there that in fact the profile is very similar. D overrepresented, G overrepresented, E underrepresented. Interesting. Although the proportions are different, the overall picture is comparable. Now let's have a look at a different similar authority. Let's suppose I wanted to look at another one. Let's compare that to Nottingham, for example. I'll click on Nottingham and immediately I can see that the situation in Nottingham again is broadly comparable. Again, the proportions are different, although Nottingham has an issue with its Group B communities that isn't present in either of the other two. So this allows you at the click of a button to get a meaningful comparison between socio-demographically similar areas to yours to see whether the same type of pattern recurs. And just to emphasise the similarity, I'll go back to Manchester again. There we are, and I'm back to the report that I started with. And that gives you an insight into how easy it is to do comparisons between similar authorities. That's it for this one, but in the next bite-sized clip, I'm going to demonstrate another of my favourite things which MAST can do, relating vehicle data to casualties, particularly in terms of vehicle type.